All right. Welcome to the channel, family. Have a wonderful guest. Just start off with, we are not professionals. Call 911-988. Reach out, get some help. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt anybody. With that, I'd like to welcome Caitlin.
Hello.
Hello. So I've known Cait 142 years.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know. She was like 7, 6.
I'm not going to divulge my age, but yeah.
Exactly.
It's been a
She's
while.
young. She is young. So, Cait and I share a lot of loves. We share a hate, and that would be our mental illness. I'm BP1. I'm the definition of BP1. Cait, you would be?
OCD and a few others.
Right, but OCD, I always find it very interesting talking to Cait about her tricks. She suffers from migraines on top of that, which is debilitating in its own right. But we welcome Cait. So
Thank you.
I have a couple questions for Cait to start us off, but what I would like first is to let you know Cait is a huge part of the show. Cait is probably my one co-executive producer besides my wife. A lot of people help me, but no one helps like Cait. So this is really 49.7% her show.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right, so tell me, we had a little questionnaire, right? So one of the questions you answer, I love it, says, can you provide us with a brief synopsis of the topic you wish to discuss? And of course, OCD is a very debilitating mental illness that people don't often get to see physically. A lot of time it's depicted as cleaning or organizing or checking. But there's so much more that goes into different types of OCD, and it also isn't one type fits all.
Mm-hmm.
I found that a very comprehensive answer. You know, like most people would say OCD and that's it. I'm just going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But explain to our guests the debilitating part of OCD, and then explain the flip side of that. How OCD, you know, you handle it to where it's still in your life and it's not.
Well, it's never going to go away.
That's my key phrase.
Yeah.
Cait, I say we are never going to be cured.
Yeah, there is no cure.
Right.
Yeah.
But we don't have to suffer.
Right. Right.
Needlessly. There's suffering in everyone's life. We just suffer a different way and in a different frequency and intensity
It's where
sometimes.
nobody knows what's going on all the time. So,
Right.
you know, a lot of times you suffer alone.
Right, especially if you do not have a support system that is understanding,
Correct.
which some of us really don't have. I'm lucky enough to have an awesome support system, and there it is, walked in the door. All right, come on,
Hi,
camera.
Mom.
Come say hi at least real quick on a split
She's
screen.
shy. She doesn't want to. She's saying hello from afar.
She's saying hi from way over there. Can you say it so we can hear you at least?
Hi.
There you go. All right, cool. All right, so, all right, where were we? She screwed me up, of course. Go ahead. Tell me, Cait. Just tell us about it.
All right. Well, I guess I can go off of like I'll bring an example from the most recent time, because I've had a couple little breakdowns here and there. My OCD got really out of hand, and luckily I had you to take me to the doctor and try to.
Well, we didn't go to crisis.
No,
You stayed
very
out of
close.
crisis. That's
Very
right.
close. Very close. I was about a couple tears away from going.
No, I'll be honest with you, Cait. I thought I was taking you straight from the doctors to crisis.
Yeah, I thought that also.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
So how did you handle that? And what led up to that?
so
Is it a slow roll?
sometimes it just comes full force out of nowhere.
You wake up in the morning and
Well, so the last breakdown I had, we were actually here the night before We were up until 4 a.m.
Having a good time, right?
having a good time.
All right, excuse me. Bolton, if you can you close that door without hitting the camera stand? Just because they're talking to grandkids. And all right, thank you. Take that bag off and shut that thing tight. Thank you very much. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so like we were all having a great night. That's when we took our infamous selfie with me, you, Tim, Henry.
Right.
I got home around 4 a.m. I woke up a couple hours in like a panic, and then it just kind of steamrolled from there.
What were you panicking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's just
that
how I woke
frequently
up.
that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because your body's in like it's in constant fight mode with OCD. So it's just like your whole body is just out of whack. And then that's when the obsessions and the compulsions come in. Like you obsess over, there's different subtypes again.
But is it serious stuff that you fret over and worry about, or is it meaningless stuff, or both?
So OCD usually will stick. They call it stick to things that matter most to you. So, for example, anybody that doesn't have it, you might get a crazy thought in your head, and it's a really quick in and
Fleeting,
out.
yeah.
Exactly. Somebody that has OCD, it stays, and then your body goes into like a panic because you think, not necessarily think, but like it feels real. So it could be like hurting somebody you love, and you don't want that, obviously. But
And you would consider this the intrusive thought part of it.
That's an
I
example.
always found that very interesting when we talked about that.
Yeah, that's an example. Like, it could be about, oh my God, somebody I know is sick. I'm gonna get sick. Like, it could attach to anything that really is important.
Right, that's real. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's
Yeah. So, and that's what makes it, I guess, like 10 times worse.
right. It's not about
that
Harry
feeling.
Potter. It's about something that's real. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like we get attached to certain things. And I remember when I read Dances with Wolves, I got very pissed off at the end because I wanted to know further. And that was something that I got invested in. And it's actually one of the things that told me I was really sick.
Yeah.
And I'm going back 25 years. I got so invested in a book, and it took me so long to read it. I'm not like a fast reader that reads a book in 3 days.
Right.
So this took me weeks. And when I got to the end, I remember not wanting. I knew it was coming to an end, you know, and not wanting
Yeah.
the book to end. So that would be a definition of something that's illogical. I want a made up character to continue on with his life and to include me in it.
Yeah. Well, people get wrapped up in books like that all the time too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my brain can't handle certain things, and I know that as I got older. I know what to play with and what not to play with. You know. So go ahead. We went to the doctor because these thoughts.
It got to the point where like my sister was coming over all the time.
Positive, negative.
It was to help me.
Gotcha.
Because it's gonna sound crazy, and that's what happens when you have OCD. You're like, oh shit, I'm fucking crazy.
Right.
I was afraid I was gonna hurt JJ, my son. So I didn't even want to be near him. Which, the first time I had a whole meltdown was when like right after he was born. My sister would stay over every night with me. You know.
Do you think this is an extension of postpartum, Cait? Do you think postpartum played?
So.
How old is JJ? Can we ask just so we know?
He'll be 6 in June. But I had OCD before that.
Right.
It just got to the point where I didn't know what it was. So after I had him and I was feeling like that, like I needed to reach out to somebody to kind of figure out what was going on. And it can only be diagnosed by, somebody in a medical field. So I had to get somebody to tell me, like, you have OCD. So It's
like you needed someone, right? I mean, but
yeah.
did you need someone to tell you had a mental illness?
I obviously I had a feeling, but again, the OCD is like so. My therapist and I call my OCD Big Back Bertha.
Big back?
Big Back Bertha.
Big
Big
back
back
Bertha?
bitch Bertha.
Gotcha.
And she's the one that'll pop in like, oh, you're nuts. You want this to happen, you want that to happen, and you don't. It's just things that are the most important to you is what it attaches to.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to think that it would make you think of hurting your most precious thing in your life.
And that's terrifying.
It
you know?
is. I'm so glad I never. I mean, it sucks. I mean, to sit there and say I'm so glad, because I don't know if I can handle that. You know, so talking just about yourself, when that wave comes on, what's one of the first things you do?
Well, the most recent time, I do not recommend doing this, is to stop taking your medication. I do go to therapy, and he's been great. So the mixture of the two has really helped. And then, you kind of get these tools to go along the way, like to help if it does arise. Because it's more of like yeah, maybe, it might. It's an uncertain disease, pretty much.
Right. So, as someone that really loves and cares about you, I want to ask you this question, but I don't want to ask it in that, do you currently take medication?
I do. I am on Zola.
Okay.
And,
don't advertise, but you can.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm on. I'm on Lexapro and Rexulti. I mean,
I'm on a few different meds.
Yeah, I'm on a heavy hitter. Like
Yeah.
the Rexulti is one of them linked drugs. When I don't take that, Cait, it's the only medication in my history
Right.
that I can still function, but I'm way fucked up. And I feel it. And Bubby will go, yo. And people even at work, will be like, yeah, what's up today?
Sometimes, I don't know could I say their name?
Kids' names or
No,
people's
staff.
names? Just first names, yeah.
Henry
Yeah.
be like, hey, did Kev take his meds today?
No, I love, I'm getting them on here. I love some of our coworkers are the greatest people. Henry is definitely, world class. I mean, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
In all the aspects that I have ran across, Henry is world class. Is really the only definition I
Yeah.
have. for
We call
adjective.
ourselves the petty police.
Right? The petty police. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's cool about this is that I work with Cait. We have this history and then we work together and like Bubby will say to me, did you see Cait? I'm like, yeah. Well, did you see this? Did you say that? I'm like, no, hon, we're working like, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's...
Our work gets a little
intense.
crazy.
We work at a school with individuals with special needs. These individuals mainly have autism. And a lot of our population, probably 90% of our population is nonverbal. So it makes our job that much more intense, enjoyable, and...
I mean, 1 second you're getting your ass beat, the next
crazy.
they're loving on you, so...
Yeah, they're kissing you on the cheek, you know what I mean? So, your sister was coming over.
Yeah. She... And now looking back on it, it's kind of that you're not supposed to get reassurance with OCD. So I don't think it was helping me in the long run because...
Wait, what do you mean? You're not supposed to get reassurance?
So somebody that was OCD might ask somebody like, just tell me I'm not crazy.
Oh.
But
so reinforcement of... Yeah, we know all about reinforcement.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So she's...
You're not supposed to get that reassurance.
Gotcha.
Because...
And you find people do that just trying to help you out? They don't know what else to do?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, nobody really understands it that well. I'm not, like, going around saying, just tell me I'm not crazy.
Right.
But it was I guess it was just like a comfort thing for me to have her
Soothing.
with me. But that just makes it a little bit more comfortable in that moment. It doesn't make it go away. It comes back stronger a lot of the times when you do get that reassurance. So you're kind of just feeding it.
Right. So let's get back to, because we're going to do a whole thing on postpartum and stuff like that, but let's get back to we were talking about your most recent episode and what had led up to that.
Right.
Where were we with that?
So like, I was at your house the night before. I woke up in a panic.
And the big what's your name? Big bitch
Big
Betty?
back Bertha.
Big back Bertha shows up.
And even saying it, I'm like, I sound nuts, but I know it's not me. Just like, oh.
Well, Cait, we are nuts.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
not breaking that to you, but I'm breaking that to you. We're nuts.
It's not me, it's her.
I like that. So you can separate that.
Yeah.
That's good. You identify and distance yourself, because I have a paper here. I did a tiny bit of research, and it made me nuts.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, and I really would like for you to take a look at it and tell me I'm not crazy. But let's continue on with this story for a minute, because we definitely will get completely off base with that.
I think we got together for 4th of July or something. And you guys had off of work. I was supposed to go into work the following day.
Right, because you worked on the administrative end.
Yeah. So I put in like a time request to go in late. I was waking up in that panic. I was still getting myself up and ready to go. I got to work and I was by myself. Nobody else was there. And I just kind of like, my whole body, like it gets hot. Like you feel like you're
So
on
you feel
fire.
it physically.
Yes. So like my body just felt like it was on fire. Because I just had all these crazy thoughts just running. And I knew what it was just because I had it happen before. But in that moment, it just feels too real. So I think I ended up leaving work early. Got home. I think JJ was in daycare at this time because it was summer. And I was crying like 24/7.
Right.
I was sleeping downstairs in the living room. I didn't want to be by myself. I just wanted other people around me. And I hate to say that I didn't get much help at home during this time, but I didn't. And
I think it's an understanding thing, Cait. I think that's what we're going to bring light to for the supporters or the people that don't suffer, but this touches, is I don't think they know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for somebody that doesn't go through it.
No, you're not physically sick. You don't have a fever.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like you got the flu. You're throwing up and in the bathroom.
And I'll admit, like I fucked up. I stopped taking my meds. That's on me. But I guess again, it was kind of like that reassurance thing from like my parents.
Right.
That I was looking for, and they're like, "We can't. There's nothing we can do to help you. We can't help you." And like I understand that now, but in that time, it hurt. But again, it was all mental, so it was all on me. And then it got to the point where my sister would have to take JJ to daycare because I was afraid to drive.
Right. Were you still going to work?
So I'm out of work.
Okay.
On disability at this,
So after we went to the doctor.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back just a step. We're at work, right, Cait?
You were at work. I was not. I was texting you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You left work early to take me to the doctor.
Got you. So you were calling out, or you had asked for time off, and we were communicating, and I think I realized the severity of it.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Bubby, I got to take Cait to crisis. Like, this is completely fucked up. It's off the rails. You know what I mean? And we were texting. We went to the doctor. Did they do anything for you, Cait?
I guess.
Other than put you out of work, right?
They put me out of work. I started retaking my meds. But really there isn't much you can do and just wait it out.
Right.
Kind of.
All right, so go ahead. So after that, you retake you start getting on your medicine.
Right. Obviously it takes a little bit of time for
Sure.
to start
It's
to
not a
work.
Percocet.
Right. I was trying to find doctors. I was just trying to find, and the crazy part about mental health is it's so hard to find anybody.
Yeah, no one wants to help you.
No.
Because you're not sick.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But even getting in with like somebody that does work in the mental field,
Right.
it takes months.
Weeks, months, yeah.
Months. The first time it took me like 6 months to get in to see somebody.
That's
6
insane.
months.
That's
Sitting
insane.
there
And
like,
you have health insurance. It's not like you're on the. I'm not saying that it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it's you have what they would tell you in this country or maybe in this world access to help.
Just takes a little bit.
It takes a little bit. I really don't want to do it. Don't want to have somebody sit there and do it. But I want to know what this 988 is. You know what I mean? I want to know at the end, if I'm having a mental meltdown, I'm not going to drive my wife crazy the next time. I might be tempted to call 988 and see where my money's going. You know what I mean?
I like to call it unsubscribe from life. I was very close.
Wait, what was that? Unsubscribe from life?
Yeah, I was ready to go out.
Wow, that's an interesting phrase. Unsubscribed from life.
I had enough.
Right. So, all right, let's bring it full circle a little bit. Kind of, not quickly, but how are you today?
I'm pretty good. I mean...
All right, so let's walk it back. Then tell me what happened. You started taking your meds.
Therapy.
You went back to work.
Yeah. And honestly, not being in that administration field.
Right, so she changed positions. Cait went back to what she used to do.
Yeah, and honestly, it's so much less stressful. I get breaks, and I just think I was like overworking myself. And I was just mentally and physically just tired. And I think that's why it kind of started, aside from the not taking the medication.
Yeah, I mean, it's, thank you for sharing that. All right, what are we at? We're at like 23 minutes. We got like 7 minutes, I would say. So I started looking into therapies for OCD, intrusive thoughts.
Well, if you do want to get therapy for OCD, I recommend going to somebody that does ERP, exposure response therapy, because that's going to help the most.
Wow. All right, so now let's skip this then. Exposure response therapy, ERT?
P.
P. Where's the P? How come it,
It's like...
That's crazy.
I don't know what the P is, but
I gotta write that down real quick. And you have success with exposure response therapy.
Yeah, so what I did with my therapist was you kind of make a hierarchy of your distressing thoughts, and you want to start at one that's not distressing at all. Okay. So like me, I think we were doing like organization, because I do get a little crazy with that.
Yeah, we see you getting ready. But that's just building. I see. Okay, go ahead.
So they'll start you off with like doing little exposures. So let's say you'd be like, sit there with this, like that.
I was just gonna do that to you. I was gonna throw something on the desk and say, "Is that what this is?" You have to let it sit there and not.
That's exactly what you do. You let it sit there, and you sit there in that feeling, and not react.
Okay.
So, that's like just a really.
As she puts it back.
Yeah. And then like bigger things, like I was afraid to be near knives for a little bit. So when you have worked up to it and you've had success with the smaller things, you'll work up to the bigger things. He would have me just hold a knife to my arm, and I'd just sit there. with it on my arm.
I have never had any experience with hurting myself or anything. So,
I've never self-harmed
right?
or anything.
But so you had fear of a knife. What?
I was afraid, like, the OCD. I was afraid I was going to hurt myself or hurt somebody else.
I got you, but like, so what's the thought process of this ERP? Like when you're supposed to let it sit there and just
you sit with that
deal
thought.
with.
You sit with the thought, and then eventually it's not important.
Was it a real knife or a butter knife?
So I had a real knife.
Okay.
But
like,
he was.
I give you a butter knife. Sit it on your arm. You'll be fine.
And I've been doing the therapy over the phone, so it's virtual.
Okay. I was going to ask you about your therapy.
I mean, you can go in person. Just my schedule's too busy.
Right.
So I go for an hour. Right now, it's every other week. It started off like 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
When it was
intense.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that's cool, but that's cool that once you've got the opportunity, like once you're hooked up with a therapist, like that's super effing cool, and that's probably that much better because of the virtual aspect of it.
Right.
You can shove it into your schedule.
Well, I wasn't working at the time,
right.
so
no, but I mean, like even their schedule, you don't have to commute, you don't have to go to the doctors.
Right, and then
that's awesome.
He always lets me know too if like I feel like I need to fit in another session. I can always call.
That's awesome. I need a therapist, Cait. I don't. This is my therapy. You know what I mean? But
I do highly recommend going to the therapy at least once.
Right. Does our insurance cover it? Isn't that funny? Nah, it doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but I used to pay $300 for a shrink, and he helped me for a while.
One session,
$300.
So before he got a like I don't remember what certification it was. It was $90 a session.
Is it an hour or 50 minutes?
An hour. Yeah. But now thankfully he got that cert. It's not $90-something.
It's less?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't want to get into the numbers, but
no, it's significantly less.
I want to ask you a million questions, but I don't want to ask you a million questions right now.
I mean, ask as many as you'd like.
I know. So I got a little list, and I would like to get your thoughts on this. This is what's called thought diffusion.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I think I've read it a little bit.
Okay, so this is from therapistaid.com. So, all right, give me a minute. Just start at the top.
All right.
And I will, while Cait does that, do a tiny little rant. We don't know what's going on all the time. We definitely can't control our thoughts all the time. What I really want you to take from this is the positives. We can pile up a bunch of negatives and harp on them, or we can look at the positive. Cait is a success story because I don't know how long it was ago. I swore I was taking Cait to therapy. Cait did the work, got back on her meds, and is leading a productive day. Because you know me, I'm all on dates. All right, Cait, what do you think?
It's so funny because, I mean...
Cait's reading a paper on thought diffusion. It is, read the top for me, Cait, a cognitive...
distancing technique.
It's a cognitive distancing technique. And for me, it sounds a little wacky. But I want to let Cait kind of chime in on this.
I mean, it says shift attention from the content to the process. I mean, easier said than done.
Yeah, take a look at some of the, for instances, the techniques.
No, I know. Like, use a silly voice. All right, well, I don't know how well that's going to help. But, I mean, I gave my OCD a name.
Yeah, it's just kind of identifying to me, Cait, that it's something outside of you. Mm-hmm. But I love like the file folder one. Like, I want to list all my tabs. I always like put all the tabs up there and just go through and click in them. But how about put your bad thoughts on a cloud?
And watch it drift away.
I don't know who writes this stuff, Kate. I don't. So I just wanted to show
We
you.
live in a fairy tale.
It's a little bit of a fair. Who writes it? I mean, that's what I think, and I think that's what's really important about this channel. We suffer. We know. We're not experts. You know, we're not doctors, so don't listen to us. But please listen to us. Do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like. I hate doing this BS, but I really want to end on this note. 911-988. Don't suffer endlessly. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anyone. Cait, thanks for coming on. You will be
Back.
a regular. All right.
I do want to add though.
Go.
Anybody that does suffer from OCD, there are a lot of things that you like online. The IOCDF.
Go ahead. Hit me with them real quick. IOCDF.
Yeah, the International Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Foundation.
Awesome.
They have a lot of things that you could look at, different tools, they have so much stuff on there that you can look into to try to, help.
You had one other one. What was it?
Oh,
DSM-5.
That's just, it's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So that's what a lot of places used for coding, like medical coding.
Gotcha.
So it's basically just lists of probably every mental disorder you can think of. It's a book. And again, like that's what people use for like billing and
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, so IOCDF.
Yep.
ERP. I think we know where we're going with our next episode or two. But any parting message other than that one, which was very good? That's what we kind of want to do, share resources mainly, and you've
Don't
been there.
stop taking your medication.
All right, I can't. All right, that's a great point. Listen, we will never be cured, but we don't have to suffer. Like Cait said, just take your effing medication and get on with your day, dude. It's like when you gotta take a piss, go take a piss, take your meds, move on. In a non-HR reportable way.
Love yous.
Love you.